The horror on your screen is not a static image. It is a conscious predator. It knows you're watching, and every second you spend here, you are teaching it exactly how to find you. These are the disturbing videos that have achieved sentience, a chilling compilation of proof that the darkness on your screen feels like it's alive.
This is the most terrifying book in the world. It provides evidence for Elon Musk's theory that humanity may be living in a simulated reality and that we are nothing more than lines of code. In the 8th century, a book was written that would later become the most feared text in history. Its name was Al-Azif. Legend says the dark secrets within its pages are older than humanity itself. It speaks of beings known as the shadowed spirits, entities from another realm that cannot die, yet are imprisoned in our world. For centuries, countless people tried to destroy the book, but it always reappeared somewhere else in silence. Until the late 19th century, when a Yemeni poet named Mahdi Khalaf found it among ancient ruins. One night, he followed the book's instructions, burning black incense and reciting ancient words. The next day, Mahdi was gone. All that remained was his journal, its final page scrawled in shaky, uneven handwriting. I saw the shadowed spirit. It showed me the real world. We have been living in a false reality all along. Everything we know is a lie.
This is the ultimate secret. Your reality is not solid. It is a live environment running inside a system. The ancient texts confirm what your senses already suspect. The boundaries of your world are purely negotiable.
This father was one of the most twisted and cruel men in the world. In 1984, an 18-year-old girl named Elizabeth was attacked by her own father. When she woke up, she was already locked underground. Her mother discovered she was missing and quickly called the police. The father told them that before disappearing, Elizabeth had said she wanted to join a cult. He even showed them a letter, claiming it was from her, saying she had run away and asking her family and the police not to look for her. No one could have imagined that Elizabeth was actually trapped in the basement of their home, only 6 meters away. In the darkness, Elizabeth gave birth to 7 children. 3 of them were taken away and adopted, while the others never saw sunlight in their entire lives. One day, one of the children became seriously ill. Elizabeth begged her father to take the child to the hospital. When doctors examined the child, they found him extremely weak and noticed there were no medical records for him anywhere. The doctors immediately called the police, suspecting the child had been held captive. Eventually, officers uncovered the hidden basement. Elizabeth told them the truth, ending a nightmare that had lasted 24 years. Her father was arrested on the spot and sentenced to life in prison. When speaking to the media, Elizabeth delivered a powerful message. Victims should never feel ashamed, and the ones who should truly bow their heads in guilt are the abusers.
The greatest darkness thrives in the places you call safe. This clip documents a cruelty so absolute, it stains the digital record forever, proving that the monsters are often the ones you trust to keep you safe.
This is the true story of children with superpowers. In the late 1950s, deep beneath the desert, the United States carried out a top-secret project led by the mysterious Dr. David Brooks. The goal was not to create weapons, but to use genetic modification to produce living miracles. 3 girls were born there. Kathy could lift a truck with ease. Tara could make machines move with nothing more than a glance. Elizabeth could slip her thoughts into anyone's mind, like a silent, toxic fog. But callers kept their powers locked away. Then one day, during a test, Elizabeth quietly entered Dr. Brooks's mind and made him place the control terminal for the collars under an unremarkable old table. No one knew this would be the spark that set off a disaster. At midnight, they finally freed themselves from the collars. That same night, a strange red light streaked across the sky over the Nevada desert. Most people thought it was a shooting star. Only a handful of military officials knew it was the distress signal from Operation Blossom's laboratory. In the end, the military threw every resource into the search, but they never found so much as a trace.
The emergence of an impossible new generation. Their existence breaks every known rule of physics and biology, a terrifying sign that the system's own fundamental stability is failing. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It's free and it really helps the channel.
This woman was the most tragic mother in the world. She unknowingly cooked her own child. In a small town in northern Philippines, a single mother named Erin raised her young son alone. To make ends meet, she took a job for a mysterious employer doing household work. The pay was good, but there was an unsettling, eerie feeling surrounding the old house. On her first night, as she prepared dinner as instructed, The meat in the pot gave off a strange, disturbing smell, as if it were trembling slightly. Erin felt uneasy, but the promise of high pay and the pressure of her situation forced her to continue. The next morning, she returned home to find her house empty. Her son was gone. Fear surged through her as she recalled the strange events of the night before. Slowly, she realized she had been manipulated and that she had cooked human flesh. Despair and anger shattered her mind. That night, some townspeople reported seeing her vanish into the fog. In the mist, a tall, pale woman with blood-red eyes stared at passers-by, her sharp teeth glinting. From that day on, the town's nights were never peaceful. When the fog rolled in, people often heard the sound of knives cutting in kitchens, pots and pans clanging, and the cries of children.
The ultimate violation of the sacred bond. This act of domestic horror is archived as a permanent warning, proving that some darkness can never be forgiven or erased.
This is a true story. In 2014, something happened in Wisconsin that sent chills down the spine of every parent in America. And the person responsible was a 12-year-old girl named Kathy. Kathy lured her best friend, Elizabeth, into the woods and then attacked her. Believing Elizabeth was as good as dead, she left her there for the Slenderman to take care of. By some miracle, Elizabeth fought through the pain, crawled to the side of the road, and was rescued by a passerby who rushed her to the hospital. When police questioned Kathy, the truth came out. She had been obsessed with the urban legend of Slenderman, a figure said to live deep in the forest, dressed in a black suit, unnaturally tall and thin, with a blank, featureless face, and limbs so long they looked disturbingly out of proportion. Kathy was convinced Slenderman was real. To prove her loyalty to him, she committed this horrific act. What she said next terrified parents even more. She admitted that, in her everyday life, she had imagined countless times how she might hurt her best friend. Before we act, we should not ask ghosts and spirits for answers. We should ask what is right, and listen to our conscience. Perhaps then, tragedies like this could be avoided.
The monster born from a digital concept. This entity is proof that pure fear can achieve physical form, evolving beyond the screen to stalk the tangible world.
What these parents did to their daughter was nothing short of monstrous. In 1930, in the city of Chihuahua, Mexico, an extremely lifelike mannequin appeared in the window of a bridal shop. She looked so real that it was almost impossible to tell if she was a person or a statue. Locals whispered that the mannequin was actually the deceased daughter of the shop owner. It is said that she was tragically bitten by a poisonous spider on her wedding day and died instantly. Her parents, unable to accept her death, refused to bury her. Instead, they embalmed her body and turned her into a mannequin, placing her in the shop window on display. Rumor has it that whenever someone walked past the window, the mannequin's eyes seemed to follow them. Some say the shop owner did this because he could not bear to let his daughter go. He wanted to keep her forever within his sight. This story makes you wonder, where is the line between parental love and obsession? Sometimes what is called love is just an unrelenting selfishness, and the one who is loved ends up living under an eternal shadow. So next time you see a mannequin, you have to ask yourself, could there be a soul inside, silently watching you?
The refusal to let go leads to grotesque, frozen obsession. The object of mourning is transformed into a hollow vessel, trapped in a perpetual, silent violation.
This nun was locked inside with hundreds of mental patients and endured unimaginable torment. In 20th century Ohio, far from the bustling cities, there stood an old psychiatric hospital. Inside its walls were the forgotten souls of society. A young nun, Amanda Kruger, spent every day within those halls. She had taken a vow to dedicate her life to God and to the redemption of broken souls. She believed that even the most deranged and corrupted spirits could find a moment of peace through God's mercy. But on Christmas Day in 1941, the hospital closed for the holiday. No one realized that Amanda had been trapped inside, surrounded by hundreds of the mentally ill. That night, her faith could not save her. She was brutally abused, and a few months later, she was carrying a child. In 1942, a baby boy was born. She had no choice. His life was a scar of pain, a living nightmare she could never erase. His name would cast a shadow over Springwood for decades to come, a name forever tied to endless nightmares. Freddy Krueger.
A fortress built to contain madness, now utterly consumed by it. The image captures the claustrophobic concentration of psychological darkness that awaits those who lose control.
Can you believe this? A man swallowed 300 hamburgers and then vanished without a trace. In the summer of 1983, a small-town fast food joint had a strange customer walk in. He called himself Vic. He wasn't big or muscular, but he placed an order that nearly shut down the kitchen, 300 burgers. At first, the staff thought it was a joke, until Vic pulled out a thick stack of cash and slammed it on the counter. The burgers came out tray after tray, and Vic devoured them like a machine gone out of control. As time passed, his skin turned pale. Grease and blood smeared the corners of his mouth, and his eyes grew emptier with every bite. Some swore they saw his jaw unhinge wider than any human should, like a snake swallowing its prey. When the 300th burger was gone, Vic slowly stood up and walked straight into the restroom. Soon after, strange banging sounds and low moans came from behind the door. By the time the manager finally gathered the courage to push the door open, the restroom was empty. On the floor lay only one thing: an empty snakeskin.
An act of obsessive, impossible consumption followed by immediate, total erasure. The system deletes the subject, archiving the moment human excess meets final removal from the environment.
This is the only evidence that the first woman in human history is still alive. In the mid-19th century, during renovations at the National Library of Paris, workers accidentally discovered a faded glass plate hidden inside the walls. It captured the image of a woman, astonishingly clear, her eyes seeming to pierce through time and stare directly at the viewer. Decades later, similar plates and photographs began appearing in abandoned buildings, tombs, and church basements across different countries. Every single one depicted the same woman: long black hair, a stern expression, and not the slightest trace of aging. Scholars started to investigate who she really was. By the late 20th century, a long-forgotten Hebrew manuscript was translated. It contained a chilling line: "The first woman never perished. She defied the order of Eden and was cursed to wander the earth until the final cycle." In the digital age, the evidence grew even more disturbing. Whether in crowded airports, hospital corridors, or the ruins of war, her presence kept appearing in the background. Some say she is waiting for the cycle to be completed. Others believe she is the omen of the world's end.
The original transgression. This entity has walked the earth since the beginning of the cycle, cursed with unending vigilance. A chilling reminder that your escape is impossible.
Some say these children are not evil, they just want to go home. On the edge of the New Mexico desert stands an orphanage that has long been abandoned. At the end of the 19th century, measles and famine turned the orphanage into a place of death. Dozens of children died one after another. There were no funerals, no cries of mourning. Their bodies were buried carelessly in the wasteland. In their final moments, all they wished for was a hand to reach out and bring them home. Decades later, when the highway opened, truck drivers often reported seeing children standing by the roadside at night, silently watching them. Their voices are soft and polite as they beg, "Please take us home." But when the drivers look closer, the children's eyes are nothing but black voids, as if leading straight into nothingness. Anyone who meets their gaze dreams of being trapped inside that orphanage, unable to escape. These children have no names. All they carry are pale faces and a pair of eyes that chill the soul. People call them the black-eyed children.
The final chilling contact. These are the beings that demand invitation, whose eyes are the ultimate marker of spiritual emptiness, a direct, undeniable challenge to your safety. The system is fully awake. The creatures within it are watching and waiting. Now that you have witnessed their malice, their mythology, and their power, you are permanently logged in. The only way out is to close your eyes. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel and is truly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and until next time.